12 o'clock. Good afternoon, and here's the media news. First, the top stories. Al-Mosul promises developmental activities in Ogun's 57 council areas. Presidency gives conditions for releasing further tranche of Paris loan refund. Education Minister asks WAEC to cut its examination fees. NIMET asks Nigerians to brace up for intense heat this year. German leader warns Turkish president to stop Nazi taunts. Scientists discover spider venom to cure stroke. I am Tobi Joseph, bringing you the news in details shortly. Of Ogun State has promised that the state's 20 local governments and the newly created Local Council Development Areas (LCDAs) will soon witness the implementation of developmental projects. Amuson will be the pledge at the meeting with the council's chairman at the Obax Complex, Okemoso in Abeokuta, attributes the slow pace of work at the local government and local council development areas to the ongoing restructuring by its administration to redesign the state and local government. For LCDAs, Amuson promised to appoint supervisors to join their elected chairman. Force headquarters has pulled the number of people killed in recent communal clashes in Ile-Ife, Osun State at 46. Force spokesman Moshood Jimoh, who made this known while parading 20 suspects arrested during the crisis, says 81 people were also injured during the clashes. Meanwhile, normal commercial activities have resumed on Monday in the town after the clashes which restricted the movement of many people for about 2 weeks. Doors of banks as well as government offices, including shops and offices, which were locked since Wednesday, March 8, had been opened. Everybody, including civil servants, now moved freely without being challenged by security agencies, as most of barricades on the roads had been removed. The presidency has given conditions for further refund of the excess deduction from the Paris-London club loans to the state government. About 522.7 billion naira was paid by the presidency in the first tranche of the refund to the state, representing 25% of their claims from the excess deductions from the statutory allocations to service the loans. Finance Minister Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, in a statement, explained that the payment of the second tranche and subsequent tranche of the loan refund will be tied to the outcome of the independent monitoring of compliance by the state government with the agreed terms. Adeosun says President Muhammadu Buhari gave an anticipatory approval for the release of up to 50% of the claims of the state government, pending the final reconciliation of the claims by the Debt Management Office, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, and other relevant agencies. At the end of the reconciliation of the claims, the minister says that any overpayment made to the state government will be deducted from the statutory revenue in the Federation account. Buhari, while approving the payment of the second tranche of the loan refund, had asked the benefiting state government to use part of the fund to clear the arrears of the salaries and pensions of workers on their payroll. National Chairman of the PDP, Ali Modu Sharif, has promised not to join the race for the post of the National Chairman at the proposed National Convention in April. Sharif, addressing newsmen in Abuja, however, says he will allow God to determine whether he will join the 2019 presidential race or not. Members of the National Working Committee, according to him, however, could contest for post during the proposed convention. Sharif says it has been settled by the PDP that the North will pick the 2019 party's presidential ticket, while the national chairmanship goes to the South. Education Minister Malam Adamu has asked the West African Examination Council (WAEC) to review the registration fees being charged for its examinations. Adamu will made the call while receiving members of the WAEC's governing council in his office in Abuja, told them that several parents and guardians are complaining about the high fees being charged by the examination body. Established in 1951, WAEC conducts examination for the final year senior secondary school students for admission into tertiary educational institutions in the West African region. The minister says the high fees being charged by WAEC is depriving thousands of students of the opportunities to write the senior secondary certificate examination after completing their secondary education. Nigerian Meteorological Agency (NIMET) has asked Nigerians to prepare for excess heat this year. The agency predicts that many Nigerians will likely experience what it calls above danger heat stress this year due to a combination of heat and humidity. NIMET in its 2017 seasonal rainfall prediction says that heat for too long could cause heat stress, which may in turn lead to several illnesses collectively called hypothermia. The agency warns that older people could have a tough time dealing with heat and humidity, as most people would die from hypothermia globally each year were over 50. NIMET highlights some of the heat-related complications to include heat syncope, heat cramps, heat edema, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke, adding that Nigerians were no exception. Emergency agencies are still searching for the body of a medical doctor who jumped from the third mainland bridge in Lagos into the lagoon. The doctor, identified as Alwell Oji, is a staff of Mount Sinai Hospital in Surulere, Lagos, coordinating the search and rescue operation at the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, the Lagos State Waterways Authority, and the Marine Police. LASEMA Managing Director Adeshinot Amiyu says it is still premature to say the doctor is dead or not. You're still listening to the Midday News on Rock City 101.9 FM. Up next, we bring you foreign, business, and sport news. Please stay with us. Chancellor Angela Merkel has warned Turkey's president that comparing German officials to Nazi must stop. Mrs. Merkel said if President Recep Tayyip Erdogan continues, more campaign events by Turkish politicians may be banned. German authorities have cancelled rallies designed to woo ethnic Turkish voters ahead of a key referendum on expanding Mr. Erdogan's powers. She said that Germany reserved the right to take all necessary measures, including reviewing future events that had already been granted permission. Mrs. Merkel said that such comments were breaking every taboo without consideration for the suffering of those who were persecuted and murdered by the Nazis. As the war of words intensified on Monday, Turkey's Deputy Prime Minister Numan Kurtulmuş said that Germany was meddling in Ankara's internal affairs. Ousted South Korean President Park Geun-hye is being questioned by prosecutors over a corruption scandal that brought her down. After arriving at the office, she told reporters she was sorry. Prosecutors are expected to hold Ms. Park for a marathon questioning session that will last till late in the night. On Tuesday, Ms. Park's supporters gathered outside her home in an affluent suburb of Seoul as she was escorted by the police to the prosecutor's office in a short journey covered live on television. An election will now be held by May 9. Wang Ko-hyun, who is a lawyer to Ms. Park, is currently the acting president. A protein in spider venom may help protect the brain from injury after a stroke, according to research. Scientists found a single dose of the protein HI1A worked on lab rats. They said it showed great promise as a future stroke treatment, but had not yet been tested in human trials. The Stroke Association said the research was at its early stages, but it will welcome any treatment that has the potential to reduce the damage caused by stroke. In business, the increased consumption of petrol in the country has posted local demand for it to 51.8 million liters daily. The National Bureau of Statistics in its report says 1.4 million liters of petrol were imported in October 2016, increasing to 1.6 million liters the following month and 1.7 million liters in December 2016. The Bureau blamed the rising demand for petrol on the erratic supply of electricity in recent months. The electricity supply has dropped to as low as 4,000 megawatts at a time below 2,000 megawatts, compelling Nigerians to resort to petrol and diesel to power their standby electricity generating set. Manufacturing Association of Nigeria says field bill of the manufacturing sector stood at 62.9 billion naira in the first quarter of last year. Finally, the mini news, sport news. Wiki tourist youngster Dini Lawal has saved the Nigerian Professional Football League All-Stars from defeat by their Sapphire Shwari counterpart at the future champions Guatemala International Tournament on Monday. It was a dominant performance from the Nigerian select under 17 team against the Sapphire Shwari at the Nike Training Center in Soweto, South Africa. Just 9 minutes into the game, Sapphire Shwari's Mampa calmly converted a sport kick beyond NPFL All-Stars goalkeeper Mohamed Galadima, who could not stop the kick. 12 minutes after Safa Shwari's goal, the NPFL All-Stars evened the score. The NPFL All-Stars will start today's schedule at the future champions Guatemala with a matchup against Italian side Torino FC. That was the media news, and just before we go, the major stories once again. Musu promises developmental activities in about 57 council areas. Presidency gives conditions for releasing further tranche of Paris loan refund. Education Minister asks WAEC to cut its examination fees. NIMET has asked Nigerians to brace up for intense heat this year. On the foreign scene, we told you that the German Chancellor Angela Merkel has warned the Turkish president to stop Nazi taunts. We also told you that scientists have discovered a spider venom that can cure stroke. For more stories or to listen to us live, please log on to our website www.rocksetfmradio.com/live. Thank you so much for listening. I am Tobi Joseph. Good afternoon.